Before X-Files, there was Star Trek and Twin Peaks, and then X-Files came along and made something that worked for both audiences and created this phenomenon. So after that, there's been Buffy, there's been True Blood, there have been so many other sci-fi and fantasy and intrigue-continuing serials that have become phenomenons, but in so many ways, this is the show that started it all. And today, we have the stars with us to celebrate the 20th anniversary of this idea. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce Gillian Anderson and David DeCosta.
We want to ask you a favor right off the top, if you don't mind. Today is actually Chris Carter's birthday. Save it, because I want to film that. So if you guys could say happy birthday, Chris, and I could film it, is that okay with everybody? I know where I'm coming for my birthday.
Me too.
Thank you. That's really, that's going to be special. Just go for my mother. She really What?
She'd say, only 3,000 people?
So, might as well get things rolling. It's been 20 years since Mulder and Scully first met. Did you ever imagine that we'd still be talking about the show after all this time?
Oh, no. When you start something, you don't even think about that kind of thing. I mean, we went to Vancouver to do the pilot, and we were just struggling to try to figure out what to do on a day-to-day basis. So I never ever thought that I'd be associated with anything that lasted more than a week or two. How about you?
Same.
What elements of the show do you think would be different if X-Files began today? It's in many ways, very different world.
They cast like younger people.
And they'd get more money. And they'd tweet about it every day. And they would binge watch.
The show would probably be very different in this era where the internet makes spoilers and information accessible and security is tighter. Do you think that perception of like American culture and government has changed at that time?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you think the perception of American culture and government has changed in that time? So much of this was based on the...
I didn't know we were going to have to be smart.
Yes,
I want to ask you questions about the Speedo.
Okay.
One more time.
Chris recently said something that was smart that I'm going to copy, which was that, you know, the likelihood of it being popular during the Bush administration was quite unlikely, but that we're actually in a climate right now where it would probably be quite welcome.
When you first realized that this formula, this concept was really connecting with an audience, was there any particular moment where you began to realize the extent of the X-Files phenomenon?
We've been asked that question, so we both kind of agree that it was sometime in the third year of the show.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. It was just like a feeling of wherever we were, and it just seemed that people would be talking about that show.
We're good.
I've always wanted to do that.
When working on the show, specifically, how far in advance did you know what was coming? Was each script a surprise as it came in, or did you have an idea of where things were going over the course of the season?
I was always surprised because I was never involved in the creative process. So when I received a script, it was literally usually a few days before we would start to shoot it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes not a few days. But generally, we get it. But there were rewrites, you know, that would come down the pike that were surprises. You know, it was the kind of show, the kind of dialogue that you couldn't just kind of memorize in the makeup chair and go deliver. It was kind of chunky sometimes, especially for the doctor.
Yeah, I got the chunky shit.
Chunky style dialogue. Thank you.
Did you start to take more of an active role in developing the characters as the show went on, or was it all right there? Like, did you trust Chris Carter to do it, and did he just give you the pages and he knew where it was going?
You know, since we're the only ones up here, we should tell the truth. You know, once a character gets handed to an actor, he or she becomes really the caretaker and the boss of that character, and they can write whatever they want pretty much, but it's up to you, it's up to me, it's up to Jillian to make it consistent with the guy or the girl that we've made. So I don't remember your question.
That was a good answer.
Yeah, right.
For Jillian, there's a lot of women quoted in the media saying that they went into science because of Scully. Did you have any idea at the time that you were making science cool and being such an inspiration in that way?
Well, that was originally why I took the job, is because I knew... No. No, I had no idea. It was a surprise to me when I was told that. In the olden days, when people really loved us, we got a lot of letters all the time, and a lot of people told me. And I was told, you know, quite frequently by girls who were either going into the medical world, or the science world, or the FBI world, or whatever other worlds that I reigned.
Cutting up things world.
Or the cutting up things world. That they were pursuing those pursuits because of the character of Scully. And I said, yay.
I believe that a lot of men, me.
Through pencils or ceilings? Take themselves in basements?
Because of me,
Yeah.
got into
Porn?
Scully.
You weren't into me.
What?
You weren't into me.
the script? Were there moments where the sort of context of supernatural and science and things were required, or did you just go off what was on the page?
David, what kind of research did you do?
Well, you know, I wasn't really acquainted with firearms, so I firearm work. Firearming. You know, these guys, it was a procedural, I guess you'd call that, it was a procedural show. Procedural? You acquainted with that term?
Yeah.
But the procedure, it wasn't that important to get it so right. That really wasn't the heart of the show. This is not an excuse. Our focus wasn't on. We actually probably broke just about every rule the FBI has. I think we were horrible FBI agents. And would have been fired. And aside from the fact that we never ever solved one case. Research.
Yeah, well, I just, at the very beginning, I used to look stuff up. All these big words that I had, trying to make sense of the paragraphs, the chunky shit. And then I stopped. And I acted. Like I knew what I was talking about.
So, David, there's a few interesting moments of role reversal. Actually, both of you. There's a few interesting moments of role reversal over the show when Scully's faith became an issue, and suddenly Mulder sort of flips and starts playing the role of skeptic. So when there's something like that, how do you sort of sell that and justify it as an actor, like taking someone who scoffs at religion but wants to believe in everything else?
Well, I think that. I don't know why it's funny, but it is. Right now, I'm not sure why this moment is funny. I think we can all agree that it is. And maybe we can figure it out later and we'll tell ourselves, maybe somebody will let me know. Because I'm feeling it. I feel it's funny. I don't know why. You know, it's just part of, you know, playing the part or you know, I've said before, or said yesterday, you still here? I know why that was funny. In the first season, all of a sudden, an episode came my way where I was deathly afraid of fire. And I said to Chris, Jillian and I watched the motel on fire in the pilot, and I was fine. So, but you know, I had to play, but I was definitely afraid of fire. So that's what you do when it comes your way. Now, religion, it just depends, I guess, on the institutionalization of it. I would imagine Mulder took issue with, not the faith aspect or the spiritual aspect. What's going on behind me? If you play it back later, made a hell of a lot of sense. I'm sure of it.
And were there any moments from the TV show or films that really stuck out? Like any particular monsters week or anything else? Let's do that one. What projects do you have that you're working on right now? Julie, you have 3 TV series you're currently working on?